Hello Beatles fans, record collectors, YouTubers, the VC and members of the interweb who might have just come across this little channel. Today is just going to be a little bit of a catch up. I'm going to tell you some of my future plans for the video, for this channel, and show you a couple of records and items that I've got over the past couple of weeks that I haven't already shown you. First off, I'm going to start a new little thing on every video I do, and it's going to be called Twist and Shout Outs. Twist, you know, it's a play on twist and shout. So basically, if you want me to mention you, you don't have to pay me or anything. You know, it's all free. Whether you've got a YouTube channel, whether you're one of my subscribers or anything, if you just send me a comment, then eventually, when I'm doing a video, I will say, and now for today's Twist and Shout Outs. Now, obviously nobody's done it yet, so I'll just do an example. So we'll go, hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Today's Twist and Shout Outs go to Beatle Dave's Beatles channel, Tony Jackman, Andrew B and Rachel's Ghost. Be something like that, yeah? So if you want me to give you a twist and shout out, I might even go like that when I'm doing it. So that's a twist and shout your name out. I don't think I will, but you never know, it depends what mood I'm in, doesn't it? So that's one thing about something I'm going to do, just to put a bit more humour and, you know, get more engaged with you lot out there. I have actually bought a new light which I'm waiting to come, although the light that I'm working on at the minute is actually behaving itself today. And this was a bit weird, this thing. I'll show you when it comes, because it's like the light and it's on a little tripod, and then there's a big microphone that comes off it at the top, so you'll be able to hear me a little bit better. And the thing is, you don't just use it like that, you can put it on like a selfie stick, so if I'm out in the wild or go, you know, record fairs and stuff, I can do them live as well. So I'm looking forward to that. If any of you want me to do any deep dives or anything on any of my records, whether that's Beatles or, you know, solo Beatles or anything else, if you drop me a line again and say, hey Dave, I'd be interested if you did a deep dive on, I don't know, the Beatles White Album, or, you know, the Sex Pistols, Never Mind the Bollocks LP if you've got it, or something like that. Something along those lines, again, just to interact with you lot out there a little bit more. So that is a couple of the things that I'm planning to do in the coming days, weeks and months. There's a lot more I'm planning to do, but I don't really want to say a lot about that just yet, if you don't mind. Right, fines. I'm a bit late on the party to all these, to be honest. The first one is the Rolling Stones, Hackney Diamonds. This came out just before Christmas, didn't it? And I was in two minds whether to buy it or not. I always am, aren't I? If it's a new record, I'm always like that. I was going to get it on CD, but I saw some mixed reviews of it. Not just on YouTube, on other things as well. A lot of them were positive, saying it's like one of the best albums they've ever made. And according to this is the first official studio album since 2005. So I was like that. And of all things, a chap got on my bus, not last week, week before. And he knows I'm into my Beatles and my records, and he knows I like the Rolling Stones, and he goes, hey Dave, have you got that Hackney Diamonds LP? And I goes, no. I says, you know, I've heard mixed reviews. He says, get it Dave. He says it's the best album they've made in years and years and years. So I looked on the dreaded eBay and I found this one, and I didn't pay a lot for it. I think it was something like £22. This it was sealed when it came. Obviously I've unsealed it and I've played it, and to be honest, I have to agree, this is one of the best albums I've heard by the Rolling Stones in many, many years. Probably this is the best album since Steel Wheels, if not before that. It does feature Charlie Watts on a couple of the songs. Paul McCartney's on one. Side A is Angry, Get Close, Depending on You, Bite My Head Off, which is the one that features Paul McCartney on bass, Whole Wide World and Dreamy Skies. Side 2 is Mess It Up, Live by the Sword, Driving Me Too Hard, Tell Me Straight, Sweet Sounds of Heaven, that features Lady Gaga of all people, and then it finishes off with Rolling Stone Blues. Made in the Czech Republic, 180 gram vinyl record. This is just the black vinyl. So technically it is a coloured vinyl, isn't it? Beatle Dave, if you're watching. So it comes in this polyline sleeve. And the labels are nice on this. It's actually distributed by Polydor. It's a fantastic sounding record. I am quite embarrassed that I didn't buy it at the time now, to be honest. I think I've sort of missed out in one way, but I haven't, if that makes sense. I know people like Beatle Dave and Matthew Street and people like that, you know, did do reviews on this album as soon as it came out. Like I say, I waited. And to be fair, I'm glad I did. Like I say, I got off the dreaded eBay. I didn't pay a lot for it. I think it was around £20. But when it came like this. Like, see how I do that. And it's got stains on it all over. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what's the record going to be like? Luckily, the record was still sealed. And the record is fine. Just looking at that, it put me off, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what have I bought? I did message the bloke, and I did say, I says, what's gone off? And he says, I don't know. He says, when I sent it, there was no stains on it or anything. So whether it's been, because it came through Royal Mail and it's been next to something and something's leaked on it, I don't know. You do also get this lovely inner sleeve, and then you get information on the songs. Yeah, I would say, I would agree with most of the reviews of it. It is basically the Rolling Stones getting back to what they do best, doing a rock stroke pop album. Rolling Stone Blues. I was playing this and Sue came back from work and she heard that and she goes, who's that? And I goes, it's the Rolling Stones. She goes, no, it's not. That doesn't sound anything like Mick Jagger. The voice is too good. That's what she said. She's not the greatest fan of Mick Jagger. She does like the Rolling Stones, don't get me wrong. And she goes, well, that's an old record then, isn't it? Because that sounds like As Tears Go By. Which, in one way, it is sort of in that vein, isn't it? Well, I think it is anyway. So she was right in that way. But yeah, fantastic album. If you haven't got this, by the way, I'd try and get it. Whether it's on CD or on vinyl. Like I say, I think I paid £20 for this. You can get different ones on coloured vinyl and things like that are more nice gatefold sleeve. As I've said, it says Rolling Stones. So yeah, that is worth getting. The other one I got, because Beatle Dave hasn't always been Beatle Dave. I mean, since, you know, the early 1980s, I have been a Beatles fan, and that's turned out to be a Beatles fanatic. But I was still listening to other things at that time. I was into my punk and I was into my new wave and I was into my ska. And one of the bands that I did really love, you know, around 1978, 1979, 1988, one even into 82 and 83, was Madness. Seen them lots of times live. They are probably one of the best bands I've ever seen live, to be honest. And again, they had an album come out around Christmas time or just before Christmas, end of last year, and it is Theatre of the Absurd present Madness C'est La Vie. Again, I'd heard mixed reviews about this. I looked on the dreaded eBay and I got this, although this is actually from HMV. This was about, I think, £25, I think, without going on my laptop, which I can't do because it's not up here at the minute. And it's 2 LPs. And it's done like it's in a theatre. So you get like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and then Act 4 sort of thing. There's a little bit of talking on it in places. Some of the songs really, really, really do sound like Madness straight away. Others of them you've got to like listen to. If you're just a casual fan or you've don't really like Madness, well, if you don't like Madness, you wouldn't buy it anyway, would you? But I think if you're just a casual fan and you buy this, you might be disappointed on first hearing it. I'm being honest on this. I wasn't. I was dead excited. I thought it's like being in an old theatre and they've just come on stage and they're going to say, you know, it's like it's a concept album. And this was actually the first #1 album Madness have ever had in the UK, apart from a compilations album, studio album. This is the first ever studio album that's gone to #1, and I can see why. It is actually a masterpiece. I won't go through all the songs or anything because it'll take forever, and I'm trying to do this at under 20 minutes if I can. That is another thing. I'm going to try and do my videos slightly shorter. Some will still go on for hours and hours and days, don't get me wrong. So this is a gatefold. Like I say, it is a double album, and old Tomo's even got a Sex Pistols t-shirt on there. Look. Yes, it is a grower. It is definitely a grower. That's what they're saying. But I loved it. First time I played this, absolutely loved it. And it gets better. It actually gets better. Like I say, it is a double album, and it's actually on clear vinyl. Look at that. Clear vinyl. Ooh, I can see ya. Fantastic, really is. I really enjoyed listening to this. You know, it's not your typical Madness in one way, but then again it is. If that makes sense. It's not, obviously this isn't the Madness of the sort of Madness music from 1979, but then again some of it is. It's not just ska, but most of it is ska. You know, it's one of those things. It's fantastic, and to have it on clear vinyl is just amazing. Really is amazing. So what I'll do is, just bear with 1 sec. So that is the front cover. I'll do it so that it doesn't, and the hype sticker said 14 of your 5 a day, limited edition, crystal clear gatefold double album. Right, and I'll go like that. So if you want to know what the track listing is, you could freeze that and then zoom in. Again, if you like that, I would actually say, if you've got a streaming service, stream some of these songs. I liked it from the first time I ever played it. I was talking to a chap at work who's he's slightly older than me, and he's into Madness, and he says this is crap. He says it's the worst album he thinks they've ever made, which, you know, everybody's entitled to their opinion, aren't they? Yeah, it's not like a greatest hits album, is it? You know, so some of these songs you'll ever hear on there, but then again, when you think the first Madness album, a lot of the songs on there that people know now weren't actually singles. So, you know, I think it's fine. I think it is really, really nice. It's a very, very entertaining and enjoyable listen, but you have got to do it from start to finish, and you've got to do it in the right order, which is a bit hard because the labels don't say like side 1, side 2, side 3, side 4. So you have got to be very, very careful how you do it. Because I cocked it up on the first time I played this, I played side B and then side A, and I thought that's not right, and then I did it again, played side A and side B, and then you do get the flow of the album. Yeah, I do think this deserved to be a #1 album for him. It's just a shame, and this isn't a criticism, that Chas Smash isn't with him anymore. I think his presence would have made this album better, or him not being there is more obvious on this album than on the last couple of albums that they made where he hasn't been on them. You know, him and Suggs used to like bounce off one another, didn't they? I don't know why he's left. I don't know if he's got any thoughts of coming back or not, but please, Chas Smash, if you were watching this, or Carl Smythe, You know, if you're watching this, come back, mate, because I think Madness do need you. I'm not saying that they're rubbish without him, but I think, you know, if they could get back to the original lineup, you know, with Chas smashing it, I think things like this would be even better than what this is. And that is hard because I can't give this album enough praise. I really cannot. Like I say, it is a shame Chas Smash isn't on it, but it is still a fantastic album, and I'm sure he's there in spirit anyway, isn't he? I mean, a lot of the songs do sound like he's actually him on the backing vocals, but it's not. It's Lee Thompson, isn't it, who does all the backing vocals now, or a lot of the backing vocals. Right, and the last thing that I've got is, again, this is from when was it published? 1982, and it's the Beatles England, and it's a book, and it's by David Bacon and Norman Maslow. Now, if you're in the VC, and especially if you watch Rachel's Ghost, you'll know Norman Maslow because he's known as Mazzy, and he's a brilliant bloke, very, very entertaining, very, very great knowledge of the recording industry and everything. You know, obviously this is from 1982, and they actually came to England from America, and they've like photographed places in England and stuff like that have got associations with the Beatles, like the childhood homes, you know, places in London, and, you know, Strawberry Fields, Penny Lane. It is actually a very, very entertaining book. Pictures of Brian Epstein in here, there's the Beatles getting the MBE. Again, it's on certain selling sites and internet selling sites, this is actually quite expensive. I didn't pay a great deal for this. Very early one of the Beatles there, look. But it is, if you want to know more of the history of the Beatles, out where they grew up and where they recorded, you know, some of the songs and inspirations behind some of the songs and things like that. Some of the clubs they played in before they was famous in and around Liverpool. I mean, that is how the cavern used to look. And that is very, very dark, isn't it? And then that is the Grapes there, which was basically across the road from the Cavern Club where the Beatles would go before and after performance to have a few beers, because the original Cavern Club didn't have a liquor licence. So you're learning something, aren't you? You're learning something. We all know that one, don't we? The Empress Pub, which apparently is now up for sale in Liverpool. If any of you want to like buy it, that is up for sale. I don't know how much it is. Hess's Music Centre was where the Beatles bought most of their guitars in the early days. That's George's Gatehouse to Fire Park. I'm saying it's a brilliant, fascinating photos in this. Tittenhurst Park, where John and Yoko used to live, and then obviously they sold that to Ringo, and then he sold it to Arab Sheik, didn't he? But although it's called the Beatles England, it does also go to Hamburg as well. There's some photos of Hamburg. Great little book, to be honest. Star Club. So yeah, if you ever see this out on your travels, or you can afford to buy it, buy it. If you're a die-hard Beatle fan, then there's probably not a lot in here that you don't already know, but it is nice to put like pictures of buildings to the stories that you might have heard over the years and things like that. It's very, very well put together. I must admit, it is really, really very well put together, and there's some really nice photos. I mean, I've only shown you a few. I mean, look at this. Look at them. Look at John Lennon there. See it? So yeah, it's well worth having. So thank you, Mazzy, if you're watching. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you watch all my videos. So that's it. So that's like my little finds, just a little bit of a catch up. Told you a few of my plans for the future. So don't forget, if you want me to mention you in the new Twist and Shout Out segments which will be coming as of the next video, let me know, drop me a line. You haven't got to have a YouTube channel, you haven't got to be a Beatles fanatic, you haven't even got to be subscribed in one way, but if you just want me to shout out your name, then I will. As long as it's not anything stupid, I'm not going to be like doing anything, you know, nasty or anything. I'll just give people a shout out, which it's called twist and shout out, isn't it? Twist and shout out, baby. So I hope you're well and dandy. Remember, you are the Beatle Dave. Thank you, by the way, to everybody that is subscribing. Old and new subscribers, you're all wonderful people, and I do mean that. I'm not taking the mickey or anything when I say it. You know, you are doing my little channel very, very proud at the minute, and I love you all, and I do mean that as well. I really do love you all. It's like we're one big extended family now. I've got friends, you know, that don't just live in England or in the UK. I've got friends in America, Canada, a couple from Japan now, and India, you know, of all places. So, you know, we're getting a bit more recognition, and it's all down to you guys out there. You know, if you watch my video and you like it, leave me a thumbs up. If you want to leave me a comment, please do. And if you're not subscribed, just think about subscribing, because it is free. It doesn't cost you a penny. And I don't like keep saying that, but YouTube do say I've got to keep saying it. So I'm doing as I'm told, sort of thing. For once, Beatle Dave is doing as he's told. That ain't gonna last, is it? That ain't gonna last now. No. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I say, you know, if you want to leave me comments or anything, please do, because that does help with YouTube to promote the channel to a new audience, basically. You know, and let's keep, you know, the legend of the Beatles going, and the legend, you know, and record collecting going, and you know, books about the Beatles and stuff. You know, one day I'm not going to be here, and a lot of the people that are doing YouTube channels at the minute are sort of like a similar age to me, and I am a second generation Beatles fan. So what's going to happen when we're gone? Are people still going to be talking about the Beatles, or will they think the Beatles only ever did the Red and the Blue album? You know, we've got stories, and we've got to, you know, tell them to people so that they can pass them on to other people and things like that. You know, it's entertainment and a bit of fun at the end of the day, folks, and I hope you enjoy it. I love you all, and until the next time, it's love and peace, and I will see you all very, very soon. So until the next time, I'm out of here. See ya.